Reusse Unchained, Birthday Boy Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. Another trip around the globe for you. You woke up with
Yes.
some grievances on your birthday here, though. We were
Yes,
talking
yes.
off mic.
Well, I didn't know that. I usually get up about 6 or so, and I go up and I grab the paper off the door stoop, as I always do, because I still like to look at print, right? I still, I'm an old guy. I like to look at print. I got the 9:30 run that they barely made the Lynx score with, and they don't have any quotes, they don't have any reaction, but even worse, they don't have the final score on the baseball game. I mean, I know what it was, but they don't have that. They don't have anything on that. It was high school football night. We got this big emphasis on high school. They got a 2/3 of a page photo of a random game, and that's it. So yeah, I was off to a bad start this morning when I got a lousy paper, and then then it went from there. But
Wait,
right
so you
there,
say the 9:30? So there's a 9:30 p.m. print edition,
yes, and
and
and,
then
and
what's
it's
the later edition that you were hoping to
supposed to
get?
be 10:30, but I mean, I've busted my old fat ass to make the 10:30 about 3 times in the last 2 weeks, and I never get I only see the 9:30, you
Yeah.
know. And they say, well, you don't have to write early columns anymore. Well, they're the only ones you're getting into print, so you got to write early
It's all
columns.
the
So
website,
anyway,
Pat.
I
It's
know
just the web. Let's focus
it's
Yeah.
on the web.
Did
yes.
StarTribune.com at least have the quotes
Well,
from? Okay.
oh yeah. I mean, they got their stories, but
No, they all went home, Phil.
that doesn't. I assume they changed it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Of course, I got another grievance, but I'm not going to get into that. That's more of a
Wow.
personal. That's with them. I got another grievance with them about they. Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. They love to. They're all about hits, right?
Clickety
But
click.
they're saving one sports piece that is actually put in the paper for morning release, because all those people are panting to see something new. It used to be 6 in the morning, and it's actually was about 7:15 when they put it up, and then now it's 7, which probably makes it about 9 that they put it up. But they love to take whatever I write and say, yeah, you don't have to put it online tonight. Put it on at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the 12 people who give a damn at what he wrote will see it then. So that's
I want to
we
see
got
you
that
here now. I
too.
think this is birthdays are a good time for reflection. I want to see Pat pivot his career to a life of clickbaiting. That's what I want
Yes,
to see. Just
yes,
sensational
yes.
headlines,
Well,
juicy stuff.
you know what I was thinking of, Judd? You weren't with us in 91. You were with us in 91,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
When they made the worst decision in the history of newspapering, and they did not hold on Saturday night for game 6 of the World Series. They started running the presses at the normal time. So they only made 200,000 papers back then. Now, of course, I don't think the Sunday run is even 200,000, but they sent instead of saying, okay, we're going to pay overtime and everybody send the trucks out, they didn't hold, remember? Then
Yeah.
on Sunday night, they held, until 1 in the morning or something. But holding was a big thing back then. You got to hold the presses because we got news coming. We don't worry about that
The
anymore.
truckers used to get very upset.
Oh,
I
yes.
think there were some threats made.
Well, I just said, I just took a photo of the page where it said the baseball game was late, and I said, now I know what those readers in International Falls used to feel like.
The mail edition, back when you used to get the mail edition a day
Yes,
late.
right. Yeah, I've told you guys that famous story way, way back, high school hockey tournament. International Falls is playing Johnson in the finals. St. Paul Johnson championship game Saturday night, and we were we covered the planet back then, and they got a plane to send 15,000 papers to International Falls.
Wow.
15,000 fly to International Falls, 65 or so, 66 maybe. And the guy downstairs, and it was like, boom, you got to, as soon as the game's over, we need a headline, we got to go, we got to print. and the guy downstairs had Johnson put in the headline that Johnson beat International Falls. They said 15,000 papers
no.
to International Falls, that International Falls had won the game, but the guy put the wrong headline in downstairs.
Oh
And they had the loss.
no.
So those got to be keepsakes, though. Whoever got those, if you probably have old grandmas, who have passed away up there at International Falls, and when they're going through her stuff, they got an old the old Tribune with
And
the.
it's like in the digital days, as Declan does all of our like headlines and social stuff.
Mhm.
That if you and it rarely happens with Declan, where maybe there's like a spelling error in a headline or
yes.
something. Even that gives you anxiety. But in today's age, you just click edit, change
Edit.
out. When there's
Yes,
15,000 papers being shipped
A
out,
head bust was the worst thing of
yeah.
all time.
That would
A
not
head
be a good
bust
job
was
for me.
death on the
Oh
copy
yeah.
list.
Well, once in a while, like they'd say, you're on a big, and somebody put on the copy, put headline here, and they'd be, and then all of a sudden you'd be getting papers that said, put headline here, once in a great while. But what was there's an old assistant city editor when I was a copy boy there in the 60s. Bill Greer, I think was his name, and he had this huge scrapbook of great bad headlines and other screw ups. And, and the one we all remember is there's two little towns up in northwest Minnesota, Fertile and Climax. And a woman got in a car crash and died in Climax, and a fertile woman dies at Climax.
Gee.
With the
What?
stuff like that. And there's a famous one too with this goes back to the 50s, but the Vikings the Gophers had a quarterback named Bobby Cox, his wife ended up doing football picks on WCCO radio. Remember what Bronco they called her?
Yeah, Bronco.
And and he was a great local guy. But the Gophers of '57 were supposed to be like one of the top 2 or 3 countries, and this Bobby Cox was on the Street and Smith, the cover of Street and Smith and stuff like that. There was great anticipation, and they went out to Seattle, and he was injured, and they beat Washington in the season opener, and the headline says, Gophers beat Washington with Cox out, said the headline. So there's great moments like that, and sometimes you think, they did it on purpose. So
100%. Yeah.
sometimes you think they were old pranksters. Most of them had a bottle in the desk, So anyway,
Yeah.
I
By the
know.
way, speaking of your birthday celebration,
Yes.
so it was 37 years ago today. The Twins drubbed the Cardinals in
Yes.
Game 1 of the '87 World Series, 10-1. This morning, I don't know. The algorithm always knows on Twitter. Someone sent across a 2.5-minute clip of the ABC Sports intro with Al Michaels setting up the game
Okay.
and the first ever World Series game being played indoors, and just how they compared the crowd to like a jet plane taking off on a runway.
Yes.
And
Yeah, remember that? They were telling us we were louder than a jet.
They had
and stuff like that.
seismic.
Yeah.
measure.
Well,
yeah.
that changed the world. Those Hankies changed the world, man. Yeah. That drives me crazy. 2 strikes in the second inning. Everybody's got to stand up and wave a towel. Just sit down, watch the game. If it's the 8th inning, okay, let's go. But I don't know. But yeah, it's just what's the vibe right now? They say the baseball ratings are a little better, but I just
Well, I mean, they put the game
I
on.
think
They put last night's game on Fox Sports 1 while the
Yes, I
Masked
saw
Singer
that.
was airing on the network.
Good.
The
So,
LCSs
God.
have been terrible, though.
and that's with the Dodgers versus the Mets.
Yeah.
What if it was other teams, that they're putting that on FS1? It's bad, man. These extended playoffs after you play 162 games, you can't just, you got to get to it, right? It's baseball. And I think maybe, I think they should make this round 3 out of 5 and just have the World Series go 7.
Go back to that.
That would be my
Ooh.
guess. Kind of shorten it up to some degree, don't you think?
Create a
I
little
mean,
more urgency.
yeah,
I
and
mean, it'd make it more of a
get it
crapshoot,
going
but
here. You got to get it going. Yeah, it does make it a crapshoot, but the whole thing's a crapshoot now.
and the
Anyway.
hockey playoffs are a crapshoot. I mean,
Yeah,
and that's part of the fun. I'm not even ripping hockey. Like part of the
no.
fun is, hey, this is going to be crazy.
Mhm.
Anyone can get hot, and you have to tune in every night.
Yes, yeah, and baseball's got to accept that. And I think you guys were the ones telling me that you saw something about how baseball was upset that some of the big teams were, they thought they were
Rosenthal reported
getting
that. Yeah.
beat. Yeah, yeah, and they're going to have to do, well, if you're going to have the, I've said it, before, if you're going to have extended playoffs, that comes with it, right?
Yeah, baseball could do something innovative and just take, like the best team from each league, and they could just play each other in a World Series. Yeah.
Yes, that was
No one's ever thought of that before. I know, but
yeah, but now, unfortunately, back in the day, we'd say, "Hey, the Twins finished third. It wasn't a bad year. It was a pretty good year." Now it's, did you win a playoff series? So
yeah.
anyway, but yes, now let's get to the heartbreak that occurred last evening.
Boy,
Oh,
that was
oh,
that was bad.
God, that
what
was
a
a
game
hell
though.
of what a series so
What a
far, man
just a
alive! What a
haymakers.
series! The first two, and I gotta let if that gal wants if they want to set her up for that shot with 1 second to go, I gotta let her have it, right? I
Sabrina,
mean,
yeah,
Sabrina.
29 feet. When it was in the air, did anybody think it was going in except her?
yeah. If
You
you could
know?
pause time and say, "Do you take this shot? Are you defensively, or what's behind door number two?" I think you
Yes.
think you just is she going to hit a
Yeah.
shot from the
Yeah. But they don't
logo?
want
Oh,
they don't want Stewart to get the ball 8 feet away from the basket. So
yeah.
it was. But did you? It was so easy early that you figured if it didn't stay a blowout, if you let them get close, that you might be in trouble because you sometimes you think you got them blown out, but how about the crowd? Plus 19,000, they said.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
We love
it
to
was
turn
wild.
out for stuff like this.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes. Now I didn't realize that. They'd put 19 in there when they had that Spark series a few years ago. I didn't
They
realize they
did.
did that. I didn't realize that. And
Was-
then the next year they played the Sparks again, and that's the year they were playing at Williams Arena, I think. But
Hmm.
the last Sparks that Spark series was when that was like one of the great series in WNBA history, and
It was.
All Cheryl did was whine after the game. So in her
Wasn't that where she was not happy about the officiating? I
oh,
feel
she went
like.
on for 15 minutes. She didn't talk about
There was a
anything else.
questionable non-call, I believe,
Yes.
that put the Sparks up at the last second underneath the
Yes.
basket. That wasn't called.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she didn't shake it off too well.
No.
She didn't. She didn't say that's it.
Yeah,
But
like
this
the
is
Lynx generally don't. There was a buzzer beater against the Sparks in that series 7 years ago, but they generally don't give you the Minnesota tragic ending like that.
no.
They just
Well, the 4 times in 7 years they won, and they did it with the best players. They had superstars. They had Maya Moore and then 3 other great players, and they were they were always the higher seed and always the favorites, and that isn't the case this year. But hey, they'll beat them Friday night, and they'll be back there playing Sunday.
So
And the WNBA will be happier than hell because they're getting good ratings.
are you going to be colonizing on Friday night
On
for
Friday
Saturday?
night, yes,
Okay.
and
Cool.
I'll have to have something done at 9:30 because nobody will ever see the other one anyway. So it's okay. So yeah, it's a challenge, and that building is not made for deadline writing because they got us sitting up there on those in front of those tables, and you got some guys with girth. You got me. You got Larry Fitz. You got some heavyweights going up there, and and then if you get like there's 4 chairs on each side behind that table, and if you get like chair number 3, so 2 guys got to leave. It's basically like trying to get the fire department to come out and save you from
the
a
jaws of life.
window,
Oh,
a
Patrick's
window.
bladder.
Yes,
Patrick's got to go.
because we all got to. I mean, you're not sliding by me when I got this much
Oh,
Excuse
room.
let
me.
me just
Okay,
scoot by you there.
Excuse me.
Nope. Yeah.
that ain't happening. And they don't. What they should do is put the guys on the aisle by weight, right? If you're a big boy, put you on the aisle, right? So you can just stand and get out of the way.
Send us your weight, and we will do the seating chart based on that.
Your
Royce has got to be
your
on the
media
end.
affiliation
Yes.
and your weight,
Or
please.
you
Yeah.
could just say, you could have it checked. Slim, normal sized, husky, and fat ass. And if you check fat ass, you get the chair on the end. You know, that's you could have
I like
slim
this.
in here, you could have normal size, and you could have a husky, and then you could have fat ass.
What
I like
qualifies
it.
as husky exactly? I like husky.
Who? Cookie, baby? Cookie's kind of, the Cookie, the freelancer. He's
Yeah,
husky.
Mike.
I'd call him husky.
Okay.
He's not good enough to qualify for an aisle seat. He can be sitting next to me on the right, right? We got to come up with a system here because this doesn't work. Plus, the whole platform they have on when us big guys start moving around is shaking like
It is. It does.
we're gonna
Yeah,
have
it does
we're
get.
gonna have a collapse, man. It's not. It does not. It's we need new press facilities where they rebuild the state, rebuild the
Well, I
ballpark.
can tell you
That's for sure.
the new press facility probably isn't going to have seats quite that close.
No,
Whatever the
you'll
new
be
arena.
up there. Hey, do you think that the fact the Twins are selling is going to prevent them from moving moving the press box up 2 levels?
No.
I mean, Joe Polad was big on that. I thought I'd heard that they were gonna move us on out of. They were surveying ticket holders to see if they wanted to buy the press box seats. I heard so.
They would do tour guides in there this season, and the tour guides would say that they wanted to turn this into premium seating. They were telling fans
Yeah.
that they wanted to
I love
do
like
that.
working media is
So the
just sitting
Working
in there.
media
No,
is
the
sitting
radio-
there.
They'll be right down
radio
right
and-
field from now on. We'll
the
get rid of these
radio
schleps.
The radio and TV guys will stay where they are, but
Yeah.
we'll go up 2 levels, right?
I think
Which
you
would be
guys, you
kinda
could hang
neat,
out
Nick.
the new condo building. You could just hang out in one of the 15th floor across from left field.
Well, the other thing is, if they put you up in that upper deck, you'll be the only one up there in April because
Yep.
they don't let any
Oh,
people up
God,
there. So you'd
freezing.
have to, you'd be the only one up. Oh, yeah, it'd be cold up there too. But that's it. Why not? You might as well. You made everybody else mad. You might as well you made all the fans mad. You might as well make us mad too.
Yeah, they should go out with 2 middle fingers in the air and just turn full wrestling heel on the way.
Boy, the more you think about it, though, I mean, if who's going to come in and give him 1.3 for this? This is with the TV future it's not only we're always talking about the local TV future, but the national TV future too. ESPN's bailing, and they're getting they were saying their ratings were up, and it was a 4.1 or something like that. A football game between the two worst teams in the league playing at noon gets a better rating than that. So,
Well, and Pat, yesterday news came down that Jerry Reinsdorf is entertaining offers for the White Sox. So what information are these owners getting? You've got
yes.
Pohlads, Reinsdorf. I mean, these are longtime owners. What information are they getting about the next 10 years of baseball and the media uncertainty where they're saying, you know what? I think now is the time to. It's the White Sox too. It's like you just set the record for losses, and you're gonna sell now.
Sell now, and you've just told everybody your stadium sucks. We want a new
Right, he wants a new
$1 billion
stadium.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
wants a new billion. So, and now they're thinking Nashville or something. They're not going anywhere. They're just, baseball doesn't have. Baseball's holding Nashville out for, to keep because they're going to probably Vegas and Nashville, right? But if the A's ever get Vegas, and I'm not sure baseball in Vegas is a layup either. Are you? Middle of the summer.
They just
Even
blew
with
up
the dome.
Tropicana. They just blew it
They
up
blew it
last
up?
week. Yeah.
That's a smaller footprint than we have, right? Though it's like
Yeah.
8-9 acres, something like that. It's a very small footprint, and yeah, I don't know. Well, there are a lot of what people don't realize is not all gambling. There are a lot of people
yeah.
out there, that just.
But do they want baseball? I think
I don't know. I
think
don't know.
you're right on
You
that.
got to. you gotta make the prices work for the people who are working at the casinos, not the people who are
Right.
coming out gambling
Yeah.
at the
By the
casinos.
way,
So,
where are the Rays going to play next year?
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
they
they
said it's
can't.
not going
They
to be
can't.
ready.
They're not playing
Well,
there.
no, not only
No.
that, but
Miami, maybe.
it would cost. I read something like it cost tens of millions to re-put the roof on it. Do they want to waste that money? They might be playing in Nashville. They might, they're gonna,
By
you
the way,
got.
the Montreal Expos still have a Twitter account. It's like 50,000 followers, and the Expos retweeted the news about
Yeah.
the Rays not having home, saying, "Hey,
Well,
how quickly
Olympic
can
Stadium.
we?"
Well, remember the thing they came up with about 3 years ago that
Yes.
they were going to play. What they were going to
Half
play?
the home
They're going
games.
to play winter and fall in Tampa and the summer in Montreal or
Yeah.
something like that. And that everybody said, "What? That ain't happening." But they might end up having to go to Montreal. The Montreal doesn't have any place to play, though, right? Is
They
that
should.
all? Is it?
They could just be like a drifter team, They
Yes.
can be it's like a snowbird team that they
Yeah.
just kind of
The
bounce around
Bananas,
to different
the Savannah
cities.
Bananas.
Yeah.
They go on a tour. Yeah.
Have them play in Dunedin, my town,
That's what
where
they're
the
gonna
Blue
do.
Jays played a bunch of games during the pandemic.
And they'd hold the crowd. The other thing
It's time
is,
to go there.
they could play in Durham, probably. That's Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte. They could.
Yeah, they
Probably
don't need like 20,000 seats,
No, they could.
No.
How old is it? Anybody ever been to that ballpark in Durham? I don't know. What's it hold? 8,
No.
10,000, maybe.
No, I've been meaning to go to it.
And,
How many seats does the Yankees spring training field in Tampa have?
Oh, they'd be big enough. That's
For the
over
Rays,
10.
you only need like
Over-
8,000
Yeah.
seats.
Yeah,
Over
spring
10.
training club.
It's over
Exactly.
10, but George probably. Well, George's their relatives probably wouldn't let him in there. I don't know. I don't. But I think that was one of their ideas when they thought they were going to get a stadium built or something, was to play there for a couple of years. So I don't know. Plus, it's a hell of a. Do we still have the gentlemen's clubs out there in Dale Mabry too? When we're
Could be good for nightlife.
Where
Yeah.
the Yankee Stadium's there, that all the.
It's Florida. Of course they're
Then
still
all
there.
the gentlemen's clubs, some of the world's most famous gentlemen's clubs, and then these old dingy bars, and you got some real dives down there, man. I remember I did a column on Glenn Morgan, who's of the Fighting Morgans. There were 3 of them were boxers and 3 of them were Olympic wrestlers. Jim and Jim Morgan was the dad, and he was a pro wrestler, and Olive was the mom. And they had these 6 rowdy boys some of them were wrestlers and some were boxers. And Glenn was the oldest and the toughest. And he ran a bar on Dale Mabry down there. They had a fight every night. They had wire around the thing and everything. And he'd have to clean the thing out about 3 nights a week. Unbelievable. I'm not sure if the Dale Mabry is as archaic as it used to be, but it used to be quite the street, to say the least.
Yeah. So, well, a lot of uncertainty in baseball, but happy birthday, Patrick.
Yes, as I said on Twitter, when people ask me how does it feel to be 79, considering the alternative, it feels fine. Okay. Yes.
Let's just get the man a Metro Edition, Star Tribune.
Yes,
That's all he
yes.
wants for his birthday is
That's
a
all I
damn
want.
Metro Edition.
And you know what I'm getting for a birthday present? I'm buying myself a computer, a new
Hey.
computer, so I can make those deadlines that they never get in print anyway. So
Wow.
that's okay. So
Always evolving, always innovating. Patrick
Yes.
Reusse.
all right, see you guys.
All right,
Thanks,
there
Pat.
he is. Reusse Unchained, the birthday boy Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold.